שלום לכולם. תודה לגבר רמת הגולן ולמקשק מרקוביץ' על ההפסקה הנעימה. אנחנו עכשיו נעבור לאנגלית. מי שעומד לימיני זה לא ישי גרין. ישי לצערי חלה. אבל אנחנו ניצלנו את ההזדמנות שנמצא כאן יזם אמריקאי ממוצא סיני, שמדבר קצת עברית גם. ההרצאות הבאות שתיהן תהיינה באנגלית. אני מקווה שיסתדרו עם זה. And I will now move to English. This is Sonny Vu, a repeat entrepreneur, who's in Israel now for 3 weeks because his wife Christy has volunteered for a program that has to do with MIT. The program is called Meet, and she's teaching high school kids how to write business plans. Thank you, Christy, for volunteering. Thank you so much. Okay. Sonny Vu was involved in a number of companies. His last company had to do with the mobile health, and he'll speak about lessons learned from the companies he was involved in. Thank you, Sonny.
Thank you. שלום. שלום, שמי סוני, ואני ממש מצטער, כי הייתי בישראל לפני 20 שנים או משהו כזה, ולמדתי שם, אבל שכחתי את כל העברית שלי. אז אני מדבר אנגלית. I apologize, but I've only haven't had too much time to put together this presentation. But it's based on another presentation I gave recently at BJ Fogg's conference on mobile health. And I know mobile health is not the topic that you came to the forum for, but I thought I would talk a little bit about it as a case study from our company, and because it does bring together healthcare and technology. So just to start with, the company that I was with is called AgaMatrix, and we make blood glucose meters and strips. So does anyone here know anyone with diabetes? Okay, so just about everybody. So we were making meters and strips. And we've been around for about nearly 10 years now, making these meters and strips. And most recently, we developed a product, a mobile health product, that I'm going to show a quick demonstration for. Is there a way to turn off the light?
We went to that because we want to see your face.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, maybe you can see this. And then I have the product here, which I can show you. Oops. Okay, so for a number of years, my partner and I, so we're a Boston-based startup called AgaMatrix. We made a glucose meter, which, meters and strips are pretty common product, really. And you make these meters, they're often subsidized, but the money is in the strips. And so you prick your finger, you put the blood on, and it tells you how much glucose is in your blood, and that's it. And that was great. We were able to grow the business without any venture capital funding. We have over 10 FDA-cleared products. And over time, we thought there's got to be more to life than meters and strips. So we built an app that you can enter results by hand. That was really a problem. So we developed a cable connection that downloads results from the meter to the iPhone app. Okay? But what's really, I think, I'm not going to say changed the world, but changed our world, that's for sure, is we developed what we call the nugget. Okay? And what it is this is a glucose meter. You plug it into the iPhone, you stick the strip in, prick your finger, once again, put blood on the strip, and then voila, you get your glucose reading right on the iPhone. So this is the world's first hardware medical device that works with the iPhone. We just launched it in Europe with a partner, Sanofi Aventis, and the first time an insulin company has seriously jumped into the blood glucose monitoring space. So really exciting product. If the iPhone doesn't work, or you have no battery power, no problem. It's hard to see, but there's actually a display here. You can actually do a test without the iPhone. And you get a result in there. I can show you the product.
You need the iPhone.
Well, the iPhone gives you a big display, and then you can send the results to other people and whatnot. And so now when you have power, you can stick the nugget back in, and then all the results are transferred back onto the iPhone. And then now you can share it. You can have all sorts of web services, coaching, all sorts of things. We also have an iPad app, which I'll skip for now. It has all sorts of neat things on the iPad with pattern recognition and data management and all that. So so it's been a lot of fun. But that's really what has helped transform our company from another blood glucose meter company to a mobile health company. And so I thought I would just take just a couple of minutes to go through our background, mainly because I actually just left the company to start a new company in the mobile health space. But I'll just take you through 10 years of our history in about 60 seconds. So this is, it's hard to see, but this is our original office. Sridhar is my partner and I. This was 10 years ago in a one-bedroom apartment in Boston. This is my office. And all of this furniture and equipment we got for free off of a list at MIT called Reuse. And what that is you have extra lab equipment and whatnot that you can just get for free because people are throwing it out. This is our very first electrochemical prototype. So the technology that we're known for is a new form of electrochemistry called dynamic electrochemistry, which is basically more accurate and enables us to provide products at a lower cost. So this is us, the first 3 employees that we hired. Our first seed funding in 2002. This is a long time ago. We were able to afford rent finally and get into an office with no windows at the time. This is the basement. We made our own clean rooms. This is Sridhar, my partner, making strips manually. It's not the way to do it, but finally, with some traction in the market and able to have a proof of concept, we were able to afford nicer offices. This is our all-hands meeting, 2004. We had every week. We started to grow as a business, so we actually rented another space in good old New Hampshire. So I'm not sure if any of you have been to Boston, but New Hampshire is 30 minutes north of Boston. It's across the tax-paying border, so we love the state. This is a building here that we got at half the rent. We were actually renting out of MIT before. March 30th, 2006, very memorable event because it was our first commercial shipment of our products to our customers. Very proud of this moment, so we took a picture of it. Again, the word gets out. People started hearing about our products, twice the accuracy at half the price. It was a great entry into the market, a very crowded market. Currently, $9 billion in test strips sold each year. How many gaming companies will that take to make that kind of revenue? So we started to get, that's not how much revenue we got, but, we got a small fraction of it. We were after 1%, but more strips needed. So we started building another factory in Asia. This is in Korea. And then finally, get on the billboard in Times Square. That was 2008. And then in 2009, we had been working very quietly on the Nugget, as we call it, which was the world's first hardware medical device that Apple had cleared through their Made for iPhone, the MFI program. So that was very exciting for us, and it was very exciting for the partner that we eventually got. Sanofi Aventis, now it's just called Sanofi, world's 4th largest pharmaceutical company, largest maker of basal insulin. They have been selling into the insulin market for years, and basically decided, oh, you know what, let's leverage our sales force to sell into this segment with blood glucose monitors. But we need something that's a little bit more interesting than yet another glucose meter, okay? And so the Nugget really, I think that it really helped create an interesting story. So now we've sold over 1 billion sensors, 2 million glucose meters, some great employees, lots of patents. Where you can find our products in over 20 countries. We're probably the only one of the few mobile health companies with revenues north of $50 million, and the first medical devices that work with the iPhone. It's been a lot of fun. And so, I'm sorry?
Still private?
Still private company, yep. over the last several quarters, I've been recruiting a lot. That's been my main job, actually. And we've got some great people there, and the company's organized around some key leaders in the company. So now, so I felt comfortable leaving to start something else. So anyways, that's who we are. And most recently, we won the Red Dot Award for this product, and so really excited about that. Again, sorry for I hope you can see this. Okay, anyways, my point wasn't to talk about just our company, but the point to make here is that was I wanted to tell you about some opportunities that might be of interest to you, whether you're from the healthcare space, the mobile space, or software space. There's some very interesting trends here. First is, everyone's trying to work on problems related to behavior change and, well, not everyone, but certainly in mobile health, in dealing with obesity. So here's, the heat map, at least in the U.S., for obesity. I'm sure there's a similar heat map worldwide. Basically, people are getting fatter. And there are a lot of things that are not, the problems are not just with, we need another obesity drug to reduce people's weight. A lot of it are much more basic problems. Just getting people to take the damn pills, okay? It's 20%, again, these are U.S. statistics, 20% of people don't take drugs, don't take there are billions of dollars poured into the development of Lipitor, years of clinical research, tens of thousands of data points, and it's paid for by health insurance, and they don't take their pills. Wow. You thought, some of these industries are interesting. Well, let's just talk about non-adherence. Okay, if we're getting to a point where the problem is not with getting more drugs or more therapies, it's just getting people to adhere to these therapies. The costs, as you know, I'm sure everybody's seen these types of charts, astronomical. And most of it is with complications, not with the management of the disease itself. So, we're all excited about music and games, right? That's the talk of the town these days. But you add up all of these companies and all of these companies, and they're worth about the same as how much products are going off patent in the next 2 years in the pharmaceutical space, approximately. These are not strict numbers, but I have some references if you would like to check them. And so I think there's some really interesting opportunities, especially when you have someone like Chris Wiebacher, CEO of a major company in this space, saying, I think it's time to diversify. I think it's a time to look elsewhere. So what can we, the title is, What Can We Do? And public policy, sorry, it's hard to see this. It says get elected or change the world. So maybe eliminate or reduce medical liability litigation. Okay, you can get lucky. This is thanks to this guy here. We discovered not us, but the diabetes industry discovered a recent breakthrough drug, the GLP-1 class of diabetes management drugs. For those of you who might be familiar. Basically, his saliva was the key to unlocking the mysteries around a new class of drugs that's been quite a breakthrough in this space. Or you can make an app. And so let me talk briefly about mobile health. So this is, if you look at the space of mobile health, here are some of the products that you might see. You have apps, you got hardware, you've got scales, you've got everything from wellness and fitness to FDA-cleared types of products. So my point there with this slide is that the point I'm going to make is that you've got a lot of product categories, not too many business models that seem to make sense yet. So we're still pretty early. This is an interesting point in in the development of this industry because we're able to look at a wave that's rising and say, wow, maybe we can be a part of it. Just a quick side note on the fog behavior model. I'm not sure if you folks are familiar with this, but the idea is that if you're above this activation curve, you will more likely get people signed up using your products. It needs to be easy to do, and people have to be highly motivated to do it. So using an app and then having to manually enter the results into your app with your glucose results, not very interesting. We made it, but it's okay. Sticking a cable from your glucose meter to your iPhone, again, not very interesting. Because remember, if you have diabetes, what's your main problem? It's not transferring data, okay? Your main problem when you have diabetes is that you have diabetes and you want to forget about it. And you don't want to test, you don't want to take your drugs, okay? And so we made a nugget. This has a case around it, so it's hard to see, but definitely easier to do. Still motivation fairly low. Basically, if you're using your iPhone, you're using it for Facebook, for email, for Angry Birds, right? But you're not doing it for doing your glucose. But if this can eliminate a glucose meter from your life, not having to carry this around, and all you do is you carry this around, not so bad. Okay, that's nice. But what's really exciting, and this is part of why we've got a good team in place, and I'm looking to do the next thing, is I think there's all sorts of things you can build on top of these types of platforms that are really interesting. Games, services, that type of thing. Okay. And now just a quick, another point here I would like to talk about is, when I was talking about this topic at BJ's conference recently, I was talking about to mainly a group of younger entrepreneurs and folks here, and these are some of the things that people are concerned about: marketing, product design, positioning, engineering, marketing. These are the things. Virality. Is your product going to be viral? Well, for those of you in the medical device space, I'm sure you are very familiar that this is not what this is not. These are table stakes. This is the ante at the poker table, but this is what you should be really worried about. This is what after you get Series A, what should you be worried about? It's the stuff here: getting reimbursement, healthcare adoption, doing the studies, getting clearance, making sure that there's outcomes that make sense, that are convincing. Getting people to use your product once they've adopted it, customer support, quality systems. It's those types of things, and so one of the things that we've seen in the Valley has been in the mobile health space is people are going into it via wellness and fitness, so it's not regulated, not necessarily reimbursed. Not a bad way to enter if one, you're not familiar with some of these issues, or two, if you don't want to attack those issues right away. And so, what are things that you can sell here? Okay, you can sell hardware. It's really tough. You can sell software, maybe services, ads, right? Consumables. Consumables are like diet bars, or in our case, in AgaMatrix case, test strips, okay? Data, okay. And these are some companies that whose business models depend on the selling of these items here. But there are definitely some difficulties with each of these, and I'm sure as you've all run your own companies and are developing your own business models, there are some difficulties here. Hardware, tiny margins, okay. Software, low barriers to entry. Not necessarily, but it can be. Services, we're seeing a lot of this in the mobile health space, a lot of corporate wellness program coaches, a lot of those types of programs. Pretty nice. You have companies like Red Brick who are doing great, but long enterprise sales cycles. My last company was before AgaMatrix was an enterprise software business, and I just remember 6-9 month sales cycles. Ooh, I wish that on nobody. Ads, you got to get the eyeballs. Consumables, it's selling ink cartridges or strips or razors. It's a great thing. But you do have the barriers that typically come with many of these types of products. Data, finding buyers be tough. Okay, so from a mobile health perspective, from a healthcare perspective at least, what are people willing to pay for? Okay, and again, this is a very U.S.-centric view, so I apologize for that. But this is what we've observed over the last 10 years. Hardware, yeah, people might pay for it, but it better be really cool and extremely useful and really, really cheap. Software, yeah, people just, services, Yes, I think there's definitely some promise there. But again, its stickiness rates are issues. Okay, these have to be very convincing services that really are, life-changing types of things that you can't do without. Ads, there's always opportunities there. People are not going to pay for test strips. Okay, so people do not pay for our test strips. Insurance pays for it. Okay, so they pay not from their discretionary spend pocket, but from dietary consumables. Billions of dollars in diet bars every year. Okay, data, yeah. Now insurance and oops, typo there. Payers, third parties, pharmaceutical companies, same types of things. Now they do cover, insurance does cover these types of strips. I know in Israel the reimbursement's not that high, but it is covered by the state apparently. And data, again, it's definitely a possibility. I think folks are interested in consumer data. There's this notion of open source disease data for research purposes. Really interesting field. I can talk more about that another time. And that was it. So my point here is think about, as you're developing your business models or refining your business models, think about some of the challenges associated with what are the things that you're looking to sell and who you're selling to, and the barriers associated with it. My last point, it looks like I have maybe one more minute, is just a couple of tips around design. We're finding that our product category is a very consumer-oriented space. So the color of the meter matters. The shape matters. Names matter. Verbal branding matters. Those types of things seem to matter more than if you were a blood chemistry analyzer. Whether a big analyzer is pink or not doesn't matter. But whether your glucose meter that you carry with you all the time is pink or not, that matters. Pink, by the way, is the hottest selling color for glucose meters. So design matters. The ideal combination, excellent science with a play school interface. So, and there are apps like this, like MealSnap, awesome app, top-rated health and fitness app. You take a picture of food, and it tells you how many calories it is. Unfortunately, it is only slightly, a slightly non-random number generator. So, but it's amazing. It's the top-rated app despite its inaccuracy. People want to believe, So going after unsexy products categories makes a lot of sense. This is hard to see, but our products initially were sold through the Price is Right commercials. So has anyone heard of Price is Right? I know it's an American phenomenon, but it's just basically a daytime game show that certain segments of the U.S. watch. And they're the type that have diabetes, many of them, right? And so and it worked great. We shipped hundreds of thousands of meters. For your commercials on TV, I mean, how old school is that? People talk about linking healthcare applications to social networks. Great idea. Very easily done poorly. Okay. In diabetes, we did a survey. People do not want to post their glucose readings online. They do not want to connect. When they're going on Facebook, they're talking about their birthday or some date they went on, not their glucose readings. Okay. And there are lots of great services that can be built. I'm not sure if you've heard of a company called Lifeline. There are these commercials that have been on since the 80s, I think, where an old lady falls and says, "Help, I can't get up." Okay, and then she presses a button, and an ambulance comes and helps her. Amazing. People are spending out of their discretionary spend pocket $28 to $61 a month for this service. Company just got sold for $700 million. So I would say this is probably one of the first mobile health companies out there that have been truly successful. And what did they do? They attacked an unsexy market. Well, it depends on what you mean by that. And a very, but an incredibly lucrative one. So design matters, but it's okay. Go after unsexy markets. That was it. Thank you.
Wow.
Any questions?
You're a business selling to a business which is selling to the end patients and
Yes.
end customers.
Yes.
So Can you
that is paid for by someone else.
Right.
You're right.
So how do patients or someone pick your product, and what kind of a loyalty program you develop so they would stick to your specific product? Is price the only thing that matters?
Yeah, a couple of things. Price does and does not matter. So it depends on the markets. International markets where you have single-payer systems. So this is a weird market because this is a market where the payer for you healthcare people, you know this, okay? But for technology folks like myself, this was new. But basically, this is a market that is somewhat distorted because the payer is separate from the user for the most part, okay? Because if you have diabetes and you went to the Ministry of Health, and you got yourself, you go to pharmacy and then you get your glucose meter. You're not paying for it necessarily. It's through insurance. In this case, the state in the U.S. it would be insurance companies, and so price doesn't really matter that much. In terms of stickiness, basically in our space, because it's a consumer space, there are 4 stakeholders that need to be influenced. You need to get retailers and distribution, whether it's mail order, retailers, or wholesalers, to stock your product. And there's a sales marketing process related to that. Second is getting medical adoption, getting doctors to say, yes, use this product, not that one, okay? And there's a process for doing that. There's getting the payers to buy it. That's the most important one. Please cover it on insurance at a higher price, please, okay? And the fourth one is getting the consumers to say, yes, I want this. And so at each one of those, the 4 stakeholders, they need to be influenced somehow. We as a company tried commercialization. We're horrible at it, so we ended up outsourcing, in a sense, much of our commercialization strategy. And so we have partnered with Medco, which is a large pharmacy benefits manager type of disease management company in the U.S. in the Medicare, Medicaid space, which is government reimbursement in the U.S. We've outsourced to Perrigo, which is a large over-the-counter generics company for retail access, and for worldwide medical, medical affairs and everywhere else. We've partnered with Sanofi, which is a pharmaceutical company, and those guys take care of influencing those stakeholders. We have now been able to refocus just on research and development, new apps, mobile health, all that stuff. Does that answer your question? Yeah. So they do the stickiness, they detail the doctors, they get it at Walmart. All that.
Actually, if you can elaborate regarding, you spoke about the game layer.
Yeah.
You spoke about, just for a second.
Sure.
And with sites like Patients Like Me.
Yep.
And sites like that.
Great site.
So, and you said people will never disclose their blood sugar levels or whatever.
Yeah.
Why not?
They won't.
If you think about
they will in certain cases, but not necessarily through Facebook in the traditional Facebook sense. It's weird to say traditional Facebook sense, but there are ways. There are definitely ways where people will disclose it and freely disclose it. Okay, so for games, my quick comment on games is games for health, an awesome approach. I believe changing behaviors, human behaviors, especially for things that have little intrinsic motivation. There's only a few things that you can do, right? You can bribe people, you can entertain them, or you can use fear and guilt. Okay, so I'd like to hope that entertainment would be one of the best ones. Games are great. Most health games I've seen are terrible because they're designed by second and third rate game designers, or worse, by healthcare people. I think there are other approaches to doing it. I think, if you're playing a game, you don't want to be playing some lame diabetes quiz show game. You want to play Angry Birds or Fruit Ninja. So why not integrate into those games? Get those guys on board. Maybe there's a developer there who has type 1 diabetes and, so.
I'd like to defer the questions to later. Okay?
Yep.
Sonny will be back in 30 minutes, and we'll ask some people to get on stage and take the lead now. Thank you so much, Sonny.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Okay, now